We continue our financial podcast. I have two distinguished guest speakers today. Ido Baum from Stirks School of Law, Rishon College of Management. I apologize, I always have the problem with pronouncing correctly the
Difficult.
name of the faculty. It's actually the one who gave the money to you,
That's true.
correct? Correct. And we have also Adam Cook with us. Adam is from European Master in Law and Economics. He is American. And I'm Jarosław Bełdowski of Warsaw School of Economics, and I'm happy to continue our discussion. The topic for today, which I think it shall be covered by us, because we already talked about banks and capital markets. We also talk about ESG. Then we moved into the financial crimes with Hubert, who replaced for one of the episodes, Adam. And now I would like to concentrate on innovation. So it's going to sound like a bit Schumpeterian, correct? Does it sound familiar to you, Schumpeter, Adam? A bit? No, not really.
No.
Ido? Sounds.
Yeah, well, Schumpeter is, one of the most important thinkers in terms of uh, innovation, markets, and growth, right? And antitrust also in economic thinking, and most famous for thinking that the way innovation works in relation to growth, right, is that uh, you have what he calls destructive innovation, right? So the biggest leaps in innovation destroy industries. And we can think about, you know, uh, uh, everyone who's been living in this world for a few decades has experienced the kind of changes. You know, I, I'm sure I know you like books, for example, but who buys books anymore, right? Everyone is reading on digital.
I buy books.
You're the last one who's
And
buying
I
books.
listen to books.
People listen to books.
You don't
People
buy books?
No, sir.
What about you?
physical books,
Physical.
right?
PDFs, ebooks, maybe. Definitely more
Ebook.
audiobooks.
Yes. I think I haven't bought a book for many years. Why? Because the industry changed, right? It's cheaper, and you can do a lot of things digitally, and the book industry is gone, right? Or except for you, Jarek. And
So you're trying to imply that I'm a dinosaur, yes?
no, I'm sure this is a certain taste, right?
You just have lots of nice decorations on your shelves.
Okay. I
You
wouldn't
remember
say
the times?
decorations. I read them.
Oh, proud of
I
you.
read them.
You remember now I will really reveal our age, but you remember that there used to be television sets, right? TVs that were really big. You know, they would probably sit in the center of the room with the family watching TV, and if you wanted a color TV, right, you would buy something really, really huge, right? And then technology changed, and all of a sudden we have these flat screens, or some people are not even don't use the flat screens, right? We can see TV, and this is innovation, right? And I'm sure there were perfectly good factories making perfectly good, huge color TVs in Japan or in Germany or in other places, and these factories were wiped out, right? And the employees went home, and so this was destructive, right? This is great technology, but it was destructive, and this is the Schumpeterian idea, and it also means that growth is not,
Linear.
linear. It means that some people are going to lose their jobs. And if I have been worker in a factory that made, these tubes for color TVs all my life, I may not be able to work or may not have the ability to change to this, to adapt to this new technology. And so, as a society, we need to build our economy to handle these changes in the innovation.
So the question is, what is innovation in finance? I can think of one innovation. I think 50s, Adam.
The 50s.
50s. It's called credit card. That's innovation.
We're suffering from that innovation right now in America.
Okay. Okay. And let me think about another innovation called securitization. Correct. But that was before the Second World War as well. So, because if you look at American legislation, it comes after 1929. So, I think 1933 there is an act, but of course it has been changed over the years. So, what is the innovation in finance? I can think of one, PayPal.
PayPal.
Was it innovative? Have you used this?
Absolutely.
Because the problem is that um, uh, if you want to move the money, you want to move the money quickly and cheap. That's that's what we want. Yes, okay. And then I usually have the problem with moving the money to America if I want to buy something, because it costs me a lot and it takes a lot of time because it reaches the pond over 1 week or a few days at least. So, was any fintechs in terms of moving the money a breakthrough? Ido, what do you think?
In my opinion, certainly. And I think the fact that you can move money very easily uh, across markets, across countries, and across investments. And if you can go in and out of an investment very, very fast, then you can also diversify your investment, which means, if you can invest in various places, you lower the risk by diversifying your investment, which is also something that innovative technology, telecommunication, basically allows us to do. But if you take it one step further with AI, right, and the kind of technology that we have today that allows us to analyze I'm saying us as if I'm doing it myself. I'm not, but allows to analyze big data in unimaginable quantities and make decisions that are so fast that you can invest and go out of an investment in split seconds, right? And that is the kind of innovation that we can't even grasp, but it actually makes investments so sophisticated, and allows those who have this kind of innovative computing power to have superior power in their investment decisions.
Let us come back to Schumpeter, because what Schumpeter was arguing is that to have this giant leap, that means if you want to have innovation, please correct me if you do not agree with me, then you have to look for the large companies because the large companies have enough resources in order to make this breakthrough. Of course, if you look at the academic writings, his theory or hypothesis was not proven. But there are many theories which are not proven. I would say there is a paradigm in the economics, but
That's
not so
true.
much in terms of if we are very clear what we mean by theory and hypothesis, and then they are not always in this sense. But what I'm trying to say is so the big breakthrough, Adam and Ido, is in big companies, or we have startups which can change the world. I already mentioned one. Yes, it grew very large, and now it's dominating the market, or it's actually one which is being utilized. But what about the small ones? What about if we have, Ido, a startup which tries to reduce the fraud on the market. That means
Yeah.
AI calling you and saying, I have an accident, please give me the money immediately because otherwise I will be jailed.
And sounds like a
And
real
sounds like
person, right?
it sounds like your wife, talking to you. Yes, okay. So we have a startup. Who should pay for it? Who shall the state invest in the startup to innovate? What do you think? Because this is a big dilemma.
Well, these are two questions actually. One is who is going to do the innovation, the big ones, and who's going to finance this kind of innovation. And in that sense, I asked Adam earlier today, uh, what AI engines, right, do you use?
Yes, whether it's Claude or ChatGPT, Grok, Any and all of the above is the answer.
Yes, and so he's using three. How many are you using, by the way?
One.
One. Okay, so no competition there. Uh, but all these three, the biggest innovators of at least this generation, right, are huge companies. These are huge companies, and they've made huge innovations. Schumpeterian in the sense that everyone who's in the world today thinks different about their jobs and thinks about their professions and how this might change uh, through AI. But then you say, okay, if there is fraud on AI engines or fraud on social media or fraud in various other technologies, do these companies want to tackle this? Or will there be a small startup that can do something about it, come up with the ideas? I've done research on this actually, on the issue of startups that try to handle trust in the market, trust in our daily lives, right? When you call your bank, for example, and someone answers, is that a person because you want to talk to a person, or is that an AI robot, basically an AI bot answering me? I want to know. If I'm going into social media and someone there, and this happened, right? There's a commercial there, and someone that looks like you tells me that you know about investments and you just bought 3 shares and you recommend that I buy these 3 shares as well, right? This is a problem, right? Because I think it is you and I trust you and I may buy these shares. And Facebook is making money out of this because these are advertisements. So Facebook has very little reason to tackle these issues. Um, a lot of people that are working in the tech sectors feel that maybe technology is the answer, right? This is Schumpeter. If there's a problem, then technology can solve it. If there's a problem with innovation, maybe some people doing technology can solve it. And the issue is who will fund this, right? And law and economics would tell us who would be interested in reducing fraud. Who would be interested in reducing fraud? Are you interested in reducing fraud online?
I would hope that a taxpayer, if it has anything to do with government sponsored things, would be interested in reducing fraud. And I would want to reduce fraud that would damage me as an individual or someone that's calling my grandmother and asking for money, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'd pay to get a better social media network, for example, or you'd pay for AI if it reduces your fraud.
If I could guarantee it, I would be very interested in that. This becomes a sort of collective action problem in my eyes. Because again, as just the one little guy who doesn't have very much money compared to someone like Elon Musk, what am I to do? You know, I'm just going to be smart enough to avoid the scammers. That's what
Okay.
I'm going to tell myself at least.
Right. So this is a collective action problem, and in that sense, what you see is that there are many startups coming up with ideas about how to induce trust. I've seen them in many countries around the world. The United States has the highest number, but always the high tech industry in the United States, startup industry in the United States is leading. But there are many in the UK, many in Europe. Uh,
Israel.
I was going to say, not
Israel,
too shabby yourself.
Israel, that's true. That's true. But they are relatively small. And what seems to be the issue is funding. Funding. Who's going to invest? Because what's the business model, right? If I can reduce fraud in Facebook, for example, who's going to pay for
Well,
this?
it might be that the big bank is interested to acquire such a company
Okay, so banks would acquire.
because if you have a lot of fraud,
Hmm.
then you are affected by this fraud and you limit the profits. And if you're able to get the solution for the problem, you might be interested to buy this solution in order to protect yourself, to protect your profits. So I'm saying perhaps it might be the big player which might be interested in getting this.
An
Okay.
insurance technology of some sort.
Okay, but you have to be a very big bank to do that. You won't do that if you're a small bank. As a small bank, I'm not sure a small bank would invest in a company that develops anti-fraud measures for everyone.
Sure, sure, of course. And we are touching upon the issue which we have not called, but it's a public good.
A public good issue.
Public good. Okay, that's something that needs to be revealed. That means who is going to pay for the public good?
Right. And
And
Adam said taxpayers, right? That means not me as a customer, right? But basically what he's saying is that the state or some kind of aggregate market, right, would be interested. It would be
well, whenever I hear the taxpayer, it always comes back to me what Ronald Reagan said. You know, that means, "Hello, we're from the government. How can we help you?" Yes.
Yeah.
And then what is the answer? Run away.
Yeah, trusting anyone with tax dollars is a scary proposition.
Well, increase taxes. It might be a solution, but we also learned from Coase, Ronald Coase. This
Right.
is law and economics. That not always pigou tax. There was ongoing discussion whether we should impose the tax or we shall allow people to negotiate. Of course, that was a theoretical model, but then it came to earth by having some sort of solutions in the market. But I think we need to conclude because this is the last episode, and we also have to reveal that all of us are involved in European Master in Law and Economics. I'm for a long time coordinating this program at Warsaw School of Economics. Ido is a happy graduate of this
That's true.
program, and now he's invited by
Many years ago, before artificial intelligence.
Indeed. So he did not use any chat. He wrote his PhD. Not only he graduated from the program, but he also continued, and he wrote his PhD on law and economics. And Adam is about to graduate. He needs to pass exams and
Yes.
deliver the thesis.
Assuming that I pass everything and my thesis is adequate, I will have concluded the program. And it's been a great experience.
So the conclusion is do not forget about law and economics and get a bit familiar with it. And we hopefully help you to understand a bit of law and economics in this last episode. But it was, as always, a joy to talk to you.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.